This episode is sponsored by our good friends at Peep Show Toys.
Peep Show Toys is your go-to destination for non-toxic, body-safe toys for every pleasure, kink, and fantasy.
Whether you're exploring solo or with a partner, Peep Show Toys has something for everyone, from luxurious vibrators to tantalizing bondage gear, all prioritizing your health and safety.
Visit peepshowtoys.com and use our promo code CWDATB for 10% off your order.
What's that code again?
CWDATB for 10% off your order.
Thanks, Peep Show Toys. Well, how do you know? How do you know when you think something's funny?
Other people laugh at it. So
I'm not in your room writing alone. How do you determine I'm going to try this or not?
So much of this, like I write down a lot of shit throughout the day, and sometimes there's things that I think are so fucking funny,
right?
And I'm so excited to get on stage and tell it. And then I get there and nobody else is into it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is just like a me thing. Like, so you really do have to figure out like what's actually universally funny and what's just funny just to you, or maybe just to your friends.
But sometimes you just got the wrong crowd at the wrong time, right? You might say that same thing the next night to a different crowd, and it kills.
I mean, that's true too, but I've definitely had jokes where I was like super passionate about the joke. I tried it in front of a bunch of different types of people. And sometimes I'll still throw that joke in there because I enjoy telling it. Like sometimes comedians, they will throw something in their set that's just for them. It's not really for the audience.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Kind of, sort of. She's mentioned it. I didn't see that clip. So.
I did.
You did? Yeah, obviously.
It was on a podcast.
She talked about it. She bring it up or someone else bring it up?
No, like I said, her and the host of the podcast, it was a female host of the podcast. They were talking about guys in dress business slacks and how it makes their ass look better. And then then Priya said, yeah, and gray sweatpants are quite the cheat code too, or something to that effect. So hence gray sweatpants. Talking to Priya tonight.
Cheat code into what's
I want to know
beneath them.
I guess
the meaning of sweet cheat code.
But is it a cheat code? Like if it doesn't help a guy with a average size pecker, is it really a cheat code, or is it just
it is. It's a cheat code that I don't want to go there.
Oh, it's a cheat code for her. I assumed she meant it was a cheat code for the dude. Like it's an easy, you make yourself look better. But maybe she meant it's a cheat. I don't know.
We'll clarify.
These questions will be answered soon.
These questions and more
by our guest, Priya Blunts. Welcome back.
What a great name.
I know. It's a perfect name.
I'm just ready to open the tavern.
Okay.
All
right. Now,
let's just open it.
Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. Sponsored edition. Professional edition.
Cheat code edition.
We're
going to get to the bottom of
gray sweatpants
and cheat codes. What is it? Him or her? Is it both?
I had never thought about it from your angle that it's a cheat code for her. I really assumed that she meant it was a cheat code for the dudes, like wearing dress slacks made their butts look good.
It could be both.
Ghosts to turn the light on and off over there, just so you know.
We have ghosts.
Is the studio going to burn down? I feel like that's getting worse. We should probably pay the light bill.
Do I have to?
Somebody has to. Fernand? Oh, we fired him.
Again, we're shifting through all
producers.
The applications and shots. And we're not quite ready to pull the trigger. So continue to send them in. Bring them in. Send them in.
And I want to clarify. Yes, when we say headshots, traditional headshot is fine, but also a shot of you giving head is good too. We'll take it. We'll take it.
For the dudes, it's not just the headshot of.
I don't want a dude. We're getting a female producer this time.
All right. Sexist.
Yeah, I know. Well, I need somebody who smells good in the building.
You see, Fernando didn't smell good. I thought he smelled rather sweet.
Like a burrito. No. I love a good burrito.
I do too.
So, all right. Cheat code. No, spoiler
We'll
alert.
cheat.
This is being recorded on March 18th. So we are one day removed from everybody's favorite holiday.
It's the
Drink till you puke green.
It is the greatest holiday of the year.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, so good.
I was not able. For my St. Patrick's Day, my 8-year, I'm sorry, flog me. My young daughter
I'm gonna flog your Molly is what I'm gonna do.
had a sleepover
Whew.
on Saturday night,
Wow.
so that was our party. They were up later than I was.
Nice.
So, but how was your?
I like how that it's getting there. She's up late. I like it.
How was your trip back to the homeland?
Homeland of the great New Dublin.
New London, Wisconsin.
It changes. New Dublin.
If they're that fucking Irish, why did they name it New London and not New Ireland? Anybody?
It hasn't always been
New London?
that celebrated in town. That's a later thing. New London has to do with the sister country of some sort.
Oh, shut up. So how did you survived? I was wondering.
I survived, and
I was shocked when I saw something on social media, or like you respond to something on like early Sunday morning, fairly early.
I was up early Sunday more than I wanted to be.
I was like, wow.
I know. It was a long day because we were actually in the parade.
Yeah,
I was in the parade for the traumatic brain injury. We had a float that we marched in.
You marched in the float?
I marched with the banner.
Oh, okay.
Front of our float.
What was the float? Oh, it was the guy.
It was the guy for the Corn Fest.
Yeah,
that's coming up in August, second weekend in August.
I'll be there.
Save the date. Great live bands for great cause. Great bands this year again.
All right. Yeah, we're not talking about that yet.
And then I'm not gonna lie,
they can pay us for promotion now that we're professionals.
Yeah, great.
Just kidding. We can write that one off as charity.
Paid professionals. It was a little. I mean, it wasn't cold as some other years, but it was chilly, and there might have been a little something to keep me warm.
What kept
the
you
group warm as we sat for an hour and a half waiting for the parade to start?
Whiskey?
Which is fine. It makes you frisky.
Irish whiskey?
You gotta have some Irish whiskey.
Is that what kept you warm?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know if you were giving each other handies or something. I'm confused.
Do both.
Okay.
Whatever it takes. It's a team. It's a team effort. It's a team effort.
Team Bonding Institute.
So yeah, it was a nice parade. We got the walk through the parade, and then afterwards into the tent, which always has great bands. They had great bands this year. Great live music as always, and then it just starts off the festivities for the evening.
Oh, I thought that was over after the tent. You always told me.
I always sent you home after the
night's
tent.
over. Bye.
You go back to the hotel. I'll be there any minute.
Okay. So something else.
Ventured out of town this year. Took the bus out of town. Went
to the place you got beat up last year?
Not that far. That was not on St. Patty's Day. That was after a funeral, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, wow. All right.
I thought it was a long night. And it got shady after, as the night went on, but
Slim Shady?
As we looked at each other, me and my brother were the last men standing.
Well, calling yourself men is a little.
Standing too is another kind of stretch, but as always, I can't tell you what time we went home. Doesn't matter. Went home when we felt like it, but yeah, it was another good year. Ran into a lot of good people. Nice. Always run into some nice people in New Dublin.
I haven't been in a long time.
It's been a couple of years.
It's been a while.
Been a couple of years. So I'm excited when you get to go back, and we'll whoop her up. Whoop it up.
You know how I party now. I'll be back I really will be back in the hotel room by 9:00. That's fine. I'm good with that.
We had a few people in the group taper off as we went.
It's hard. It is hard. I don't know how you fucking do it.
It's a long day.
I don't know how you do it. That's a whole lot of.
Well, that's why I'm the mature one. And,
yeah.
And you yourself are not. You a little too early, and I like to pace myself and make it. Stumbling all night. It was good. It was a good time. No puking stories. No.
What?
My brother.
Nobody.
My brother might have. No, Jerry doesn't puke. But
Ever?
Hey, Mr. Got to give credit. Mr. Hansen used to be home by sometimes after the tent.
Be home before the tent was over.
Well, like right after the tent, we need to take Jer home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lasted. He's doing good. He lasted for quite a while this year.
Wow.
Not far close, but he was usually I had to help him get out of this. He had a theory this year. And he tried something different and he lasted, so it worked. He was thinking he used to always go to town and drink 5-hour energy, and that's what screwed him up.
Oh, the 5-hour energy screwed him up.
Yep.
That
the
all
opposite of what it's there for.
All
this
right.
year he didn't do that. He lasted. Good
maybe you just drink a little slower. Mix a water in there every once in a while.
Well, we don't do shots like we used to. That's a good thing. And we we don't drink it like water like we used to. So there's that.
I don't. I have come to the conclusion that I will never do another shot in my life.
Okay.
Ever,
Okay.
for any reason.
Okay. I remember that. If Mr. Potter wants to do a shot coming weekends, he'll say
he's a beer drinker.
I understand, but
he's a beer
if he
drinker.
wants to do a shot or two.
That's fine. You guys can all do shots.
All right.
I'll smoke weed.
We'll see if you say no. That's fine.
I will say no.
All right.
You think I'm gonna
We'll
be
report
he's
back.
not gonna he can't see if I do it or not. I'll just be like, yeah, I did one.
Oh, I'll tell on you.
I'll be fine.
I'm going to tell on you.
Fuck.
That's for sure. I'm going to tattle. I'm going to run it up to him.
Speaking of going to see Josh Potter, we're going to go see Josh Potter in May in
Excited.
Chicago.
Again.
But sadly, I would like to go 2 nights. But sadly, Chicago, your city's so fucking expensive for no fucking reason. Ouch. You can't find a fucking hotel for under $400 a night. It is stupid.
It is stupid.
Fuck Chicago. Everything about that
Chicago.
shithole.
Chicago.
I can't wait till Potter comes to Appleton. Better fucking happen someday.
I really hope so. That'd be awesome.
But anyway,
This weekend, when we're there, we'll have to mention it.
I will go
in the suggestion box.
I will go. Well, I've messaged them multiple times to bring Potter. They ignore me.
Let's pound the suggestion box.
I will go to Chicago. I will suffer through that fucking cesspool of a city.
Hey, what else will you go to Chicago for to suffer through?
Blue October? I was just there.
Yeah. Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah, you came. I forgot. You weren't on the original agenda. That's right. We got to hang out with Matt. I apologize. But no, I don't. He's never going to see this. And if he does, he's going to be like, that was passionate. I have been just sending and
what the fuck are you talking about right now?
Hold on.
What are you babbling about?
I have been sending messages to Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Because he saw a couple of ours.
So
I have just been sending them, but then I delete it so that if he hasn't seen it in a couple days, I delete it and I send it again. So it doesn't look like I'm just this crazy person sending them over and over and over again.
But you are.
But
it would be cool to talk.
Look, I set a goal. I told you this goal on January 1st that we were going to have a paid sponsor by the end of this year. It's only March 18th and we already have one.
Boom.
Second goal, we will have Justin Furstenfeld on this podcast by the end of the year.
There you go.
Mark my fucking words.
There you go. It's a goal. It would be awesome.
Will happen.
Hashtag. Come on, Justin. Justin.
Hashtag.
But let's not take away from. We just know. I don't want to take away from how awesome Matt was.
Oh, yeah.
When we weren't down there, he was very, very accommodating and never once, as we were, don't want to bother him too much. Super, super nice, super pleasant. Hung out with us for a little bit. Came out, found us. Can't say enough nice things about it.
And surprisingly, he doesn't mind that I text him good morning every day. I thought for sure he would get sick of it by now, but he keeps saying good morning.
He keeps saying good morning back. I think it's going to be another.
Just kidding. I have not
texted situation where he'll change his number, but that's a different story. It's a different story for another time.
Just because Buddy Strong did.
Matt might say.
I think.
No, but right. I mean, I want to give props for props are doing. He's
yeah, for a member of the band to come out into the area where the crowd is to hang out with you for a bit. I was like, holy shit. Like I really thought we were gonna have to do this all what's the word? Clandestine? Like secret spy shit.
Sure.
I thought we were gonna have to do it like that. But fuck, he just showed up, he come out and
where are you guys at? Well, let's come out. Yeah, and it wasn't a little back and forth for nobody's fault. Just was kind of like, at what point felt a little bad. Like,
I think it was our fault because let's just say we were Riri's and couldn't figure out what the fuck he meant, even though it was pretty obvious.
that's cool. Doesn't matter. He was so accommodating and just super nice when he was there. And it wasn't a hi, great to see you guys. See you later. He hung out for a bit. And again, it just goes back to, meet your heroes and be disappointed. And he did not disappoint.
Oh, well, that's sweet. He's your hero.
Yeah, I mean, as a rock star, he's a cool rock star.
You're my hero.
He's one. He's
I don't
gaining
know the
speed,
rest of the
gaining
words
because just
to
how cool he is.
that.
And I get it. He's a professional, so he's got a show to go. He doesn't have to worry about us little peons.
Right?
He has a show to do.
He was like an hour away from being on stage,
and he's a professional, so he can handle it, and he's still gonna rock it. But I just want to shout out, thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Sorry about all the texts.
Repeatedly.
I have not texted him since after the show. Just after
Hi,
the show.
good morning. What are you up to? What are you doing? What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
You want to go to Sizzler?
What are you doing?
Let's go to Sizzler.
I'm at Scissor. I'm waiting. Where are you?
All right.
I miss you. I miss you.
I kind of do. Next time it'll be with Al too.
I think it's gonna be a good phone number by next time. But regardless, it goes. And so we're chuckling and having a good time, and we're gonna have a blast the rest of this evening while our next guest comes on and laugh our ass off. But either way, give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment on our bullshit we're just talking about, and tell us what you think. Share it with your friend.
Share it with your enemy.
Do it with everybody.
Share it with everybody.
Let's not leave a pretty lady waiting.
Pretty funny lady. So without further ado, Priya Blunts.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm at my mom's house right now.
Oh shit! All right. Hi,
Well,
Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, she can't hear me. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's all right.
That's good. We might talk about some things Mom doesn't want to hear.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I need to have some privacy for this. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, Priya Blunts.
But if Mom wants to say hi, I mean, we're not, it's up to her. It's her house.
So you truly are born and raised New Yorker by the shirt. We can.
Yes.
Mets. Do you root for the Yankees too, or are you true Mets?
No, I don't code switch. I born and raised in Queens, so the Mets are my people.
All right. All right.
Can you do that? Are you allowed to vote for or root for both?
I don't know.
People do. It's really like they're just into whoever's doing great that season, and it's obviously never the Mets.
It hasn't been in a while.
I will say I went to Yankee Stadium to watch the Mets versus the Red Sox, and I wore this because I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So are you standing?
Yeah. Is that
Okay. Well, good for you. I guess that's where you're comfortable, standing on stage and talking.
Yeah. I feel like it just helps me stay a little bit more because active,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You may be the first standing guest.
That's true.
That's all. That's the only bring. Do you? And how? And what are we puffing today? Because they're the puffers.
It might be that I might have to grab another one, but this is Eureka. Eureka is super awesome. They gave me a bunch of these. They gave me so many of these to review, and I still am working through them. I'm still working through them.
Shit, that's nice.
Different flavors, different things. Is that?
You got a little sponsorship set up there?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I appreciate them because they were the first people to ever send me free weed. And this was 2 years ago, which I really appreciate. So they were, the first people to ever give me free weed.
Nice.
And still working 2 years later.
Oh yeah. No, I still have unopened pens.
Yeah. I know my wife and I don't know, 6 months ago or something we got to go. We're in Wisconsin, so we got to drive an hour and a half north so we can buy legal weed where everything's illegal here. But one of the dispensaries we went up there had cartridges 10 for $100. So we bought 10 of them, and we're loaded for a while.
Well, yeah, I did also puff on a little bit of a pre-roll right before I got on this call.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. We don't much mind. We could do that on air too, because we don't care if episode doesn't get monetized. We don't.
Oh. I just don't need, I just, you know, the vape is for my mom.
Right, right. I hear you.
So what is the rules there? Because we were, what do we have on?
Oh, in New York?
In New York.
What
Are they everything legal there? No? They
I
were
thought you
trying to
meant
bring
my
it in?
mom's house. No, so it is legal.
Well, to be fair, your mom's rules are over Trump overall the state regulations.
Yeah,
It's her house.
her house, the house rules are if something is on fire, smoke it out of the window. And then the New York City rules are just light it up wherever you feel like, as long as actually same scenario, just not inside.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's interesting. So, do people of New York, do they walk down the street smoking joints?
Absolutely.
Okay, because
it's fairly new.
Okay,
so
because it's legal in Chicago, in Illinois, and we were just there last weekend, and you don't see people walking around doing it there.
Oh,
that's what you would think you would see.
Yeah,
everybody
it's weird.
just walking with a joint out of their mouth.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not the most like let me go do this and run a marathon kind of activity. You know, it's a very like let's sit down and chill somewhere shady activity.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still see it. You just see people maybe, you know, with like their friends just on a street corner. Like people are just casually smoking like it's a cigarette.
Yeah.
But I will say like that's new. Like when I was growing up, that was not the case in New York City.
Yeah.
These kids have it too good.
Pampered.
Too fucking
These
easy.
pampered kids nowadays
and living their entitled lives. When did you create the stage name of Blunts? When did you go to that?
You know, it's actually a very old nickname.
Is it?
I've had it since I was in high school, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, since I was about 16. And it came from the fact that I used to sell weed in high school. So,
okay.
Oh, not just partake, you sold. Okay.
yeah. And so I just kind of got this Priya Blunts. I was also one of the only people that knew how to roll a blunt at that time. At the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I still can't. I don't even try. So I've only been smoking weed for like 3 years, and there was our pre-rolls were here to stay, and we were good. It's pretty rare you got to roll your own anymore. So
Oh, that's so true. And the kids I bet Gen Z, I bet none of them can roll anything.
I'm guessing they can't. None of them smoke flower. They all smoke out of these goddamn pens. So
It's true.
I mean, and to be fair, it is so much easier. I mean, I do like to smoke a joint, but it is so much easier.
It really is. There's a like time and place for it for sure. Like the airplane,
Yeah.
great place to have your vape in the bathroom, you know.
But what do you prefer?
I definitely prefer a pre-roll. Actually, I would say if I really had to get down to it, I prefer a nice bong hit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, like nice, relaxing, after a long day, you sit down on the couch and you just rip one out. Like that's my preference for sure.
Yeah. And what's your preference for flower? Look at me getting all
hybrid person. Oh, I'm actually like a hybrid person. I know everybody's always like sativa, but no, I'm a hybrid person. I figured that out late because I was smoking a lot of sativa, and sometimes I'd be like, I'm having insane anxiety right now. Sativa, like it does activate your brain, but you're like, did I need it to be activated that much?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny. That's all I smoke is sativa. And it's weird because I'm on antidepressants, so you would think I would want indica, but for some reason sativa really chills me out. So I love the high from a sativa.
So,
yeah.
And I don't know the difference still.
No, we gotta run through you.
Yeah. I'm not big into it like they have or he has been, but I'm learning. I'm trying to learn.
I mean, I can break it down pretty easily. You know, indica means you're going to be into couch.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to remember. And then sativa is the kind of like heady, head high, like crazy thoughts.
Yeah.
Probably not crazy not for the beard. It's a chills.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't deal with that. I don't deal with the paranoia that you hear people talking about and heightened anxiety. I don't get that. I really do. It chills me out. So I'm hoping to just replace the antidepressants just with sativa, which can just completely swap over. So rolling it in process.
Yeah, you gotta have a dream.
Yeah. exactly.
So since high school, you've been smoking, dealing. Now, did you ever get busted? I
No.
no. Let me rephrase that. Not dealing. I'm sorry. I don't want to get you in trouble. I assume it's long ago.
It was casual selling of very small quantities of weed in my home. It was
Making her
really
sound like
horrible.
Yeah, I know. I made it sound worse than it was. I apologize.
And then that was something I did only during high school, but when I created my social media accounts was around that time. So I
oh
created
shit.
like, my Facebook, and I created my Facebook with the Priya Blunts name. So when I started doing stand up, I kind of just kept it.
Yeah.
And it works. It's perfect, and it gets people talking and thinking about it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how many times do you get people saying, "Is that your real name?"
Um, pretty constantly. Pretty
Yeah.
constantly. Yeah.
When did you start doing comedy?
It was about 4 years ago, and I don't really count the pandemic. But yeah, about 4 years ago, I jumped into it. Jumped into roast battles shortly after, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, you're a hell of a battler.
Yeah, you are.
Watched quite a few of them in the past couple of days, and pretty good at tearing people apart.
Yeah. Oh no, roasting, it's one of those things where I don't know, you try it, and some people immediately know that they're not going to be cut out for it because they know that they can't listen to somebody say things about them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it definitely takes a specific type of person that's able to take it and also dish it back out.
So were you that kind of person in high school? Were you kind of roasting your friends all the time, and I don't want to say class clown, but just someone that could riff like that?
I mean, I don't know. I went to a really nerdy high school. So I was actually kind of a huge nerd throughout most of my life until I started selling weed.
Coolest kid in class now. Wait, not selling. I heard you were dealing, honestly, in large quantities is what I.
what was I talking about?
It's gonna be awesome.
Having it flown in from the jungles of Panama. Shit.
Roasting friends.
Oh yeah.
Were you good at that? Were you just like, hey, this is what I used to do, or?
I mean, I guess I would never. I mean, I would never roast a friend the way I roast some of these people. But I feel like I was always gently poking fun at people, or like teasing them. Uh, and I feel like roasting is just kind of a thing that's just like common in New York and common in New York City growing up, especially in schools. Oh my God. Can I just tell you guys, the best roast battlers in New York City are middle schoolers. Those kids are mean. They are so fucking mean. They will come up to you on the street and tell you how much they hate your outfit. Like, for no reason.
And for some reason, a 12-year-old
Wow.
can make you cry like no other. Like, I don't get it.
And you can't punch them.
You're right.
And they use that to their advantage.
Yes, that's the worst part.
I couldn't make it in New York. There's no way. The judgment would kill me.
But that's a great point. Yeah, you're just kind of conditioned to it growing up.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't jump right into roast battling, just comedy. What was that push to go up on stage for the first time?
It was actually kind of an accident. So I wanted to take a screenwriting class, but the screenwriting class I wanted to take was full. So I ended up taking a comedy class, not realizing that it was geared for stand-up comedy, and also not realizing that we would have to do like a graduation type show at a club.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And at the time, like I really enjoyed the process of like writing all the jokes, but at the time, like the thought of going on that stage and telling them like made my stomach turn.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how it was gonna go. I got up there for the first time, and honestly, for a first time set, that shit went fantastic, and
Nice.
something just kind of clicked, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
So the first time you actually went on stage in front of an audience, not an audience, but in a comedy club,
Yeah.
there was no hesitation.
I mean, my stage presence was definitely a lot less than it is now.
Sure.
I actually didn't even take, I noticed that I watched the tape back recently. I didn't even take the mic out of the stand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just like, I feel like my writing is, even from then, was strong enough that even without too much stage presence, even just the writing alone could solicit laughs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? You in your head, or how do you know? How do you know when you think something's funny?
other people laugh at it. So,
I'm not in your room writing alone. How do you
well,
determine I'm going to try this or not?
so much of this, like, I write down a lot of shit throughout the day, and sometimes there's things that I think are so fucking funny.
Right.
And I'm so excited to get on stage and tell it. And when I get there and nobody else is into it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is just like a me thing. Like, so you really do have to figure out like what's actually universally funny and what's just funny just to you, or
Yeah.
maybe just to your friends.
But sometimes you just got the wrong crowd at the wrong time, right? I mean, you might say that same thing the next night to a different crowd, and it kills.
I mean, that's true too, but
Yeah.
I've definitely had jokes where I was like super passionate about the joke. I tried it in front of a bunch of different types of people. And sometimes I'll still throw that joke in there because I enjoy telling it. Like sometimes comedians, they will throw something in their set that's just for them. It's not
Yeah.
really for the audience.
Yeah. And you do definitely hear that when you talk
Yeah.
to comedians. And I fully get that. It's like rock bands or any bands that go up there and play like the song that the crowd doesn't want to hear. And they're like, fuck you. You're paying to see us. So we're playing it. We like the song. Like every band's got one.
That's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah.
I know you guys hate this, but shut up and listen.
Yeah. I mean, we're giant nerds, Dave Matthews Band fans. And we know that they have songs that, because you go to enough shows and everybody in the crowd hates this one song, but they play it and we know they like to play it. So like,
Just go
sorry
with it.
guys, you're on your own.
Or you tell the joke and it's not working. How do you bounce that off other people, other comedians that try and say, if I worded it different or tweak the words this way that it turns it funnier? I've heard that.
No,
And how
too. Sometimes you have to like, especially I feel like now that I've been doing it for longer, I'm able to do this process quicker. But it's like when you think of something funny, you kind of have to like pick it apart and figure out like why is it funny? What is the punchline? And then work backwards from there. Um, and I feel like, I've been becoming better at this and doing that more quickly, but it usually is a process where you're playing around with the words and you're like something I realize that I do when I write my material is when I'm writing it and just free flowing thoughts, I put the punchline first.
Okay. Yeah.
I realize that sometimes me just reversing the order of what I just laid out
Yeah.
makes the punchline the last thing that hits, and it just works. It just works so much more different.
Like, you know what you want to get to. It's just how to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is that much different than roast battling? Like I'm just going to tell a joke is backwards as opposed to I'm going to insult this person to be funny about it.
Well, roasting, it's kind of a world of its own. It's kind of like a style and a structure of its own too. It's obviously much more it's shorter jokes. It's a lot of one-liners, actually. And the thing about insults is like insults are only insults and not roast jokes if there isn't like a surprise element. Like you don't want to just get on stage and call someone fat. Like, you have
Right.
to do it in such a way that's like new, or you weren't expecting it to happen that way, or yeah. Like I don't know if you watched, I had this one roast joke where my opponent was massive. And
So that's the obvious jokes.
yeah, exactly. But it's like the art of how you get there.
Yeah.
So I got on stage and I was like, guys, I really didn't expect when my doctor told me this really isn't what I expected when my doctor told me I'd be battling diabetes someday.
It's brilliant. Yeah,
There you go.
I like
There
that
you
too,
go.
because you were also I saw that battle, and before the guy was even on stage, you were talking about him being out of wind or out of breath, and like
Yeah.
you got a blow in before you even got before you even were technically doing it.
I feel like especially as a girl, you kind of have to come out punching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would seem like it, and maybe not always, but they tend to go towards when they're battling a girl. They got to get in the slut jokes. They
Yeah.
got to get in the
Slut jokes.
Yeah, they really lean into those.
Do they not a lot? It seems
They
like.
do. And they do, and for me, they lean into the Indian jokes a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh yeah, yep.
But you know, once in a while, and I feel like I've heard them all at this point, which is why I'm just like, okay, like how many Indian jokes are you gonna do about me? Like, there's 5 jokes in this battle, 3 of them are about me being Indian. Like, get creative, you
Yeah,
know?
that's kind of lazy.
But I mean, they work. If they work, they work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but if they give that element of surprise at the end,
Right,
then
right. Yeah.
they're doing their job.
Oh,
Like you
definitely.
just
And I've
explained.
definitely heard some fucking creative Indian jokes that even I
Yeah.
was like, that's really good. Like, that's really good.
Do you remember any roast jokes that actually particularly stung? Like they, maybe hurt a little too much.
Yeah. So, you know, before you get into a roast, you do like exchange information, you know,
Yeah.
with your, because, you know, ultimately, it's not about demolishing this other person. A little bit, yeah, but it is also just about putting on a good show. You know, you want to make sure that the audience is having a good time also. That's like it's showbiz, baby. So you exchange information, and I'm divorced, and I divulged to one of my roast partners shortly after my divorce that was something that I just went through, and I wasn't ready for it yet. But they asked what happened, and I told them, and I wasn't really prepared to hear. I think at that time I wasn't prepared to hear a joke back about it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of blacked out. Like, I can't even remember the joke. It was just a joke about my divorce that was too soon that I was like, oh, okay. I just dissociated on stage.
Shit, we're going here already, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
So speaking of divorce and your writing, because you had one of the funniest jokes I've heard when you were talking about your wedding registry and you registering for couples therapy, I thought was just brilliant. Just getting that out of the way right away.
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
It didn't work out. You know, and looking back on that joke in retrospect, damn, I really should have put that on the registry. Like,
Shouldn't have been just a joke.
Right? Yeah.
But all right.
Who knew? Yeah.
So now I guess now you're better at it, receiving divorce jokes, but is there anything that, not that you have to divulge, but do you tell them stay away from this? That is too much?
So I've definitely since then, I leave that part out when I am talking about like my life or whatever. And sometimes people will ask like what happened. I'll tell them, but then I'll specifically be like, actually, but don't bring up that specific part.
Sure.
Like, you can talk about my divorce, you can talk about my ex, whatever. Just don't bring up this part.
Yeah.
I bet you guys are really curious about what this part is.
I was just going to ask that, actually. I was going to say, like,
if you don't want to tell us, we're just going to go find the battle after.
we're just going to look.
You know, so I did actually recently start talking about it in my set, so I do feel comfortable, I guess, you know, talking about it now. And
so this is couple therapy for you now.
Wait, what?
This can be your couples therapy now. Just we're not
like
together.
You should have been the couples therapists from the beginning. Maybe I'd still be married.
Right.
No, you wouldn't. No, you
No.
wouldn't.
No. Maybe like get rid of them.
Yeah, right. Do you think we would have a gorgeous, funny woman come into our office and we'd encourage her to stay married? Yeah, you can do better.
Yep.
Wait, I did not think
you can do better with a podcast. No, anyway, but so what is the thing?
It's the thing. So the thing is, towards after my ex and I got married, we got into threesomes. He was actually my high school sweetheart, and we were together for so long that I didn't really feel like this would threaten our relationship in any way. But it did. And we actually were successfully doing these threesomes for almost 3 years, and the last one kind of went. I mean, no, the threesome itself was great. It's the aftermath that wasn't great.
Right. That's the hard part to get through. Yes.
Been there.
He took the girl out on a date when I was down. I know. What a piece of shit.
Wow.
Oh shit. That's
Yeah.
like in the contract. You can't do
You
that.
shouldn't be doing that.
Literally, it's like you signed in blood, mototherfucker.
I mean, you could have taken her on a date while he was out of town, but not the other way around.
exactly. Exactly. So that was kind of like the thing, and we were already like kind of having issues. A lot of it had to not a lot of it had to do with my comedy, but comedy wasn't something that like he wanted to move to Vermont and I wanted to stay in New York. Like that's essentially the argument we were in.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
that's a difference, yeah.
You are a lifelong New Yorker. You have no intentions of ever getting out of New York?
I do, but I'm also pursuing stand-up comedy actively right now, and that's
No
kind
better
of
place to be. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I
so
also have the advantage of being from here, you know?
yeah. So when he asked, that was the wrong. Not now. I'm not leaving now. New York.
Wait.
Like when you wanted to move to Vermont, you're like that maybe someday, but not today. Not now when I'm just starting out.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe when we're like 50, dude. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do in Vermont? Like,
Right. Well, and was that maybe his idea was like, I want to get her away from comedy? He didn't like your traveling. He didn't like you being away. I didn't like you being around other people.
I mean, in general, as a single female comedian, I will tell you that men aren't really into single female comedians. They're just like they get very threatened, by all of it, especially like the whole concept of I spend so much of my time out at night around really funny dudes,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and then we don't want to drop our pants and you make jokes about it. I mean, that's threatening a little bit right there. We don't want to be roast battled in bed.
Yeah. So, okay, a lot of people think that I'm just gonna start fucking roasting them if we start dating, but that's really, or like I've dated people where then their friends ask, like, so does she like roast you? Is that like your thing? And no, I really don't do that. I feel like
Sure.
roast battling is my outlet
Sure.
for that. But yeah, no, I don't. I will write jokes about people I'm no longer seeing.
Yeah. Fair game.
But not during dating.
Kind of just don't have a micro penis and I won't write a joke about you. It's that simple. Like, just don't.
I mean,
that's rule number one.
Sorry, ex-husband.
Yeah.
She wrote jokes about her ex-husband. So, so how is dating in New York as a single female comedian?
Oh, it sucks. It's the worst. I realized the only other so I don't date other comedians. That's like a very hard, fast rule. It kind of feels like, it's like dating a coworker, basically. You're gonna see them around the office and stuff, and it's gonna be weird if it doesn't work.
Well, we've had other comedians on that say the same thing, but then they end up dating another comedian.
I mean, it would have to. No, I just don't see it. I don't see. I can't think of anybody that I'm like. If no, we've gone too far already. There's a very short list.
I feel like there was a name that was about to come out of your mouth.
Right. That maybe not date, but
and she caught herself just in time.
I will say, yes, maybe there is a short list of people where I'm like, I would explore the possibility of this. But that's about, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be tough. Not only that, but unless you're very secure and you find a man who's very secure, the whole competition factor would be an issue too, I would imagine, where if he sees you starting to kind of climb the ladder and he's not making the same strides, all of a sudden there's jealousy and yeah, that's got to be a hard thing to deal with.
So you need a successful comedian. That's already secured.
Yeah, that would probably be much better.
We'll go with that. So, what other marriage or couples therapy do we have to talk about right now? I like to go back to the funniness and the roast battle, and what pushed you into roast battling from just being a stand-up comedian, because that, to you, as your point, you said, that's a different animal and
It really is.
not for
So
everybody.
so a friend of mine, who's also a stand-up comedian, she had gotten the contact to do roast battle at the Comedy Store. Yeah, and I was like, wow, that seems like an amazing, amazing opportunity. And she needed a partner, and neither of us had done this before. Neither of us.
Yeah.
Like a
And
partner to roast against.
mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Especially since she was coming out from New York and, didn't really know anybody in LA to roast. So they were like, if you come with somebody or have somebody in mind, like we're happy to have them. And so we were like, let's do this. And it was a very collaborative process. We basically knew each other's jokes. Um, and it really was us, both of us, just writing the best jokes we possibly could, and then really just seeing who ends up winning.
Yeah.
I
But
ended up,
then it comes down to your stage presence, right? Like who delivers better and who, yeah.
Sometimes it does. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but I afterward, like leading up to it, she made it clear that she wasn't really that into it. But when I really got into it and the writing process for it, I was like really fucking into it.
Yeah.
So, and even doing it and all of it afterwards, it felt like something else clicked. I was like, I should definitely keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. So you won that battle. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying you won that battle.
I did. I had actually for like my beginning record was insane. At this point, I don't even keep a record anymore. I guess I could go back in time and tally it all up and see what my wins to losses is. But
Hmm.
I had an insane record for a while. Like, and I feel like that's how I was able to kind of like rise through it so kind of quickly. Like, because it does feel like there's roast battlers that have been doing it for quite a while.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a different, just a different way of doing it. Do you find writing for the roast battle to be easier or harder than writing your actual stand-up? Or
I would say easier, just
yeah.
because stand-up is like a anything goes kind of thing. Like, whereas roast battle, it's like there's parameters. You're writing jokes about this person,
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any roast battles out there that you're like, there's no way I'm going to lose this, and then you end up losing, and it's like, come on, how did that happen? Because I think you won even with overtime. What was his name? Lila uh
Ilya,
Laskin.
Ilya Laxon. Yeah, I lost
Yeah,
that.
you did, but you shouldn't have. But regardless,
Is that what you thought too? I thought that too. Did you listen? Did you guys listen to the part at the end where they asked for the crowd vote and I got the crowd vote, and then the
yes.
judges still went the opposite way? I was like, I'm the people's princess, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there was a little confusion at the end about the number of who voted for who, and then it was, if it's a tie, then the audience vote would come in, and I don't know how he won, but anyways.
He's one of those people where I don't want to put it this way, and I hope he never sees this, but
He won't.
he needed that win. Does that make sense? Like, he really needed that win.
Yeah.
He needed it more than I did, for sure.
The fix was in. The fix was in. We'll say it. You don't have to. The fix was in.
We will.
I mean, to be fair, no offense to the judges and the comedians who do, the crowd vote should count for like 90%
More of it.
That's who you're there to entertain.
Yeah.
So,
but also that show specifically, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the Roast Battle League and how they've kind of like restructured like all of it.
yeah.
What do you mean by restructured?
So Roast Battle, used to just be like the LA Roast Battle at the Comedy Store. So they created an actual league, and there's multiple cities that participate in it, and the list of cities just keeps growing. It's international.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Like London, they have Scotland, Barcelona. I think Paris just started as a thing. New York is obviously one of them, and so yeah, no, they have if those markets didn't already have a roast battle show, somebody like a comedian on the ground would start that scene. Whereas for New York, we already have like multiple existing long running roast battle shows. And that specific one is not part of that league. And it's like a whole point system. We're all basically like baseball players.
Oh,
We have like averages and points, and the cities have points. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, wow.
There's probably a website where we can keep track of stats if we want to.
Do you want to start a fantasy league?
Oh, wait, that's the coolest fucking idea I've ever heard.
Priya Blunts, first round draft pick.
Oh, damn it. Well, I'm not picking Lila, dude.
Like, at least for one of the New York shows, people do kind of put in like their betting odds of like,
I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
They think who's going to win which battle and etc.
Yeah, I would imagine there's good gambling on that shit.
Insane. That's an insane concept.
It would be fun.
Now that it's that big as you're describing it, somebody's out there going to do it.
Imagine how much more creative you'd be if you just smoked weed once in a while.
Wait, did you smoke weed for the first time today?
No, but I have not smoked weed tonight, and it's probably half a dozen times that I've smoked weed.
Get this, the first time he smoked weed was with Willie Nelson's granddaughter in her tour van.
With her grandpa's weed at 55 years old.
Well, you were 55, not her grandpa.
I was 55-year-old.
I mean, that's kind of an offer you can't refuse.
That's what I'm talking about. I literally turned him. I'm like, I can't not do this.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk for an hour.
Nope. It was great. We have a video of him. He thinks he's talking. His mouth is moving. He's doing this with his hands, but nothing is coming out of his mouth. So yeah, like that's great.
Yeah.
We tried to send him off to hit on girls, but we couldn't get it to happen. This would be great.
Stone, though, I feel like the hitting on girls stoned might be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing would come out. But I partake once in a while. I'm just not obviously a daily or
a regular.
A regular.
Yeah. I have to know before we go any further, why are gray sweatpants a cheat code, and who are they a cheat code for, the dude or the woman?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing gray sweatpants, and I want to know, is this good for me or is this good for you? Like, you look at me and go, I can tell he's got a micro penis. I can write jokes about that guy.
And not hit on him.
I was actually gonna say it's a cheat code for you if you have a big dick, because then it's your way of letting the world know. It's basically the low cut. It's the tube top of men. Does that make sense? It's the halter top of men.
It does. I like it. I like it. I just saw you say it, but it kind of got glossed over, never really got explained. So I'm like,
we were talking about it, but so I was thinking the other way. It was like a cheat code for you to be like, oh, gray sweatpants, I'm not talking to him, or I want to talk to him.
Well, I feel like you have to have a certain level of confidence to be outside and in public and around other people in gray sweatpants. Yeah.
I got the confidence. I mean, I can say I got the confidence. Whether I should or not is
that's because you're high and don't give a shit.
I got the confidence. My wife tells me I look great in them, so that's all I need.
She has to, though. I mean, theoretically, she has to. So do a lot of people in New York wear gray sweatpants out in public?
No, it's like wearing lingerie in public. It's
that.
I fucking hate comedians. I almost always spit drink on the floor when we have comedians.
So if you're out and you see some dude in a gray sweatpants, you'd be like, all right, game on. I can make fun of him. I can do this is
he's living his life. Good for him.
I had a woman tell me once she could tell how big a guy's cock was just by the way he walked. No gray sweatpants or anything, just his walk. Like, I am now afraid to death to get up and walk around her. Like, I'm just gonna stay seated here until the night's over. I don't care if I have to pee. Can't go. Is that it? You don't agree with that? You don't have that talent?
I was in a relationship for so long that I missed an entire period of, I guess, the years that women develop these talents that I just didn't fucking develop. I feel like Bambi as somebody approaching the dating scene. I really don't fucking know. Like,
yeah. That's why you got to rely on gray sweatpants.
Yeah, I mean, I do think like wearing gray sweatpants in public is slutty, but hey, do you?
Now, is it just gray? Is gray in particular? What if I wore black sweatpants?
So black is acceptable. You see, black is acceptable because it doesn't create the same shadows,
Okay,
Gray shadows. There you
blue
go.
shadows
I
that kind of
gotcha.
do all the
What if
story
you
stuff.
wore pink sweatpants? Would that
Oh,
give you a totally different message?
I'm thinking she's not going to think she has to worry about whether I have a big dick or not. Probably not coming home with her anyway. So, not to say that pink sweatpants or whatever, but
The stereotype.
if they're Lululemons, then probably.
I'll be honest, like also as like a female comedian, I don't really have the time to date.
Yeah.
Like so many of your nights are just taken up by stand up, and the hours that you would be going on something like a date usually just match up with the same time you have a show.
Yeah.
And
Most
unless the
likely.
guy is coming to your show, like how are we going to make this work?
Well, that brings up a great question because we had a comedian on that said, I don't tell people that I'm dating that I'm a comedian because they want to come see my show. I don't want them to see my show until after we can get to know each other. As a newly wanting to date, what do you think of that?
I actually love telling people I'm a comedian.
Fuck it, come on over. You can handle this. You can handle me.
Yeah, I mean, I like for people to know what they're signing up for. Like this is what it is such a big part of my life that for me to leave it out would actually be it'd be like if I was a single mom and I didn't tell you for you know?
6 months in, here's Johnny. He's yours.
Yeah. Wasn't yeah, it wasn't a deceptive thing. It was just they wanted to get to know him beforehand. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
There's no
mean,
right or wrong, but
I do tell people, like I actually did have I was dating this guy last year, and for like our second or third date, he came to one of my shows.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I did preface it by saying like, "Hey, you're gonna learn a lot of things about me very fast. In like 7 minutes, you're gonna learn a lot about me."
Yeah.
And he actually really liked the show, and we dated for like 8 months. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's not one way better than the other. Just remember them talking about that.
Sure. So I'm gonna ask a risque question. If you want me to cut it, I'll cut it right out. But you were talking about your first sponsor. We landed our first sponsor today, literally today,
Yes.
and they are Peep Show Toys, who are a sex toy company. So, question being, since our new sponsor is a sex toy sponsor, and you're single and in the dating room, you got a favorite sex toy?
You know what? I am such a basic bitch. I'm just like a standard vibrator kind of girl.
All right.
Hmm.
I'm sure they have plenty of those.
They've got plenty of those.
Or like, like the rabbity kind of one, the one with it has like the ears on it. It's actually kind of cute.
That's not standard.
That's pretty standard.
I mean,
you see a lot. Yeah, that's a
They talk about it in Sex and the City.
a lot of girls prefer that, the rabbit. I've heard that many times, but
what about the magic wand?
What's that? Oh,
that Hitachi thing?
Nobody needs that thing. That's like the semi-automatic fucking vibrators.
AR-15 to the pussy. Oh shit. All right.
well, there you go, Peep Show. There's a perspective from
I figured if we could ask anybody that, it'd be a comedian. So any plans to be back in Austin and getting back on Kill Tony? Obviously, I gotta tell you, admit it, that's where I saw you for the first time, was on Kill Tony. You had a set on there and killed it. And obviously the interview part was great as well, which is usually far more important. Well, not far more important, but as important as the set.
Yeah.
Are you getting back to Austin at all, or?
Actually, I am. I want to come back out there in May, and I want to try to do, Kill Tony again.
Yeah.
I still haven't set up my gel blaster. I got the big one.
Yeah.
So I had so much trouble bringing that thing home.
I saw that.
I didn't realize that I know that it's a toy gun, but it's clearly a toy.
Yeah.
It's a gun, so
do they make you mail it back or something?
So it's funny because I was like, I don't want, it's not going to fit in my checked bag. So I'm going to take it on the airplane with me. And I put it through the security belt and they're like, bitch, what are you doing right now? They were like, absolutely not. And I was like, but I took out all the pellets and the liquids and the gels. And they were like, girl, look at, it's a fucking gun. I was like, but it's plastic. Yeah, they didn't like that.
No.
So I had to run back out, had them pull my checked bag. And I wish I took a video of this because one of the airport employees was literally sitting on my suitcase so that I could close it again. And then I went back through security without the thing, and I'm looking at it right now. It's right there.
Nice.
You're like, and you're that I'm bringing it home regardless. I'm going to get it home one way or another.
Not without my gel blaster is what I said. Yeah.
This is my trophy.
Well, as you should not leave it home or leave it back at.
You got,
you know what I'm saying.
You got a show in our neck of the woods coming up this weekend. Aren't you going to be in Detroit on Saturday?
Oh shit! How'd you know about that?
Oh, we do research.
Yeah,
but I am going to be in Detroit on Saturday.
Like the Queens of Comedy. This is the Southeast or South Asian Queens of Comedy.
That's absolutely right. I'm going to be running a 30-minute set at the Pontiac Theater. It'll be fantastic.
How cool is that?
Pontiac Theater. That's legendary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's going to be, I guess, I think it's a larger seater than even the Mothership main room.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Been there I've heard of it. Yeah. Never been, but that's legendary.
And I did my research, so I know you're doing the show, but forgive me, I know it's for a charity and I forgot the charity. And hopefully you remember, otherwise we'll edit this.
I don't remember the specific charity's name, but I do know that the money is going towards human trafficking.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was something to do with human trafficking.
Perfect. I mean, that's
so. How'd you get involved?
That's a better one. Yeah, that's one of the greatest causes, especially now.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you for doing that.
How'd you get involved with it?
So, I do a lot of South Asian shows, and I've done quite a few South Asian like charity shows. Nothing of this size yet. But I guess like your name just kind of gets circulated around and they found me. They said that they found me through like my reels and my Instagram actually.
Oh, wow. Nice. It's cool to hear that those things actually do something for people.
Yeah.
We put out one every day. Just keep trying. It's a lot of work. How much of your work is social media? I don't think you do a ton with it, do you?
I don't do too much. Yeah. I feel like do a few things, do them very well. Yeah. Like right now, the algorithm is very happy with me. So I know that I do need to continue to feed it. And I have a guy that cuts my clips, super great, super efficient. He's actually somebody that I roast battled. And
oh, nice. He didn't cut the clips to make himself look better?
Well, he definitely cut an edit of our battle that made him look better, but I did let him.
Understandably so, though.
Yeah, he's doing him, but he did let me know, like, oh, by the way, I do also cut clips, and I was like, oh, I will definitely be sending stuff your way because I've been trying to look for one reliable person who I like their style of like how they cut them.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm down as long as you don't make me cut a clip of our battle, where you're, I mean, understandably so, but
yeah, I caught that one myself. Don't worry about it.
Dominate me. I'm not gonna.
I can do one. Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. It's so much work.
So what did intrigued to just talk to you about? Because you were working with a comedy show shortly after with Hans Kim's. Mm-hmm. Hans Kim, I fuck up names all the time, so don't even worry. But it was shortly after his battle on New Year's Eve. So how was that working with him after? Was it ever brought up about his big
loss,
his big win?
Wait, what happened? I did Hans Kim's show in Austin shortly after.
Right, like in January 10th or something.
Uh-huh.
And you opened for him. But he had done the New Year's Eve show battle
on Kill Tony against Rick Diaz,
the live thing.
That is, yeah. So that it didn't come up at all. Actually, wow. Like I've met Hans Kim a few times, and he, he's kind of just comedians can be a little autistic sometimes. You know,
He definitely presents that way on stage. I mean, his interviews are notoriously slightly autistic.
I don't want to say, I'm just saying, like, generally, we're not, like, I know that we're cordial and we are friends, but it's never like we're chatting it away for, an hour at a time.
Okay. I just thought because it was so fresh and he was relieved that he won.
Don't mind me. I'm biased. We had the opponent on the podcast shortly before the big event. So I'm still going with Rick Diaz won that thing. And he's gonna win on May 10th. So
you think so? Oh shit.
No, he doesn't have a chance. It's all fucking rigged, but
the people, it's funny because like it's such a huge controversy, but I feel like the other regulars, are more so leaning Hans Kim.
Oh, of course. Yeah. They'd spend all their time with him. And yeah,
the audience picked Rick.
No, they didn't.
It seemed like it.
No.
It seemed to me.
Yeah. The only people that really picked Rick were Shane and Matt, the guests that were on. They picked Rick, but yeah. Anyway. Enough about other comedians.
No, but I just, I was just curious because it seemed like it was so fresh. It was like the 10th right after it happened. So I just was wondering if he was excited to win or talk about it or anything, but apparently not.
I don't think he talked much about it.
All right, well, fuck that.
Have you been to Detroit? Is this your first time coming to Detroit?
It's gonna be my first time in Detroit. It's gonna be my first time in Detroit. I'm super excited. Yeah, it's kind of that. So the show that I'm doing on Saturday, they did make me sign like an exclusivity clause, so I can't do any other stand up when I'm in town. Which is
shit.
Weird. I know, but I am trying to just maybe pop around to the clubs, meet some people, watch some shows. It could be fun.
At least network. At least use it as a networking trip. Are you headed out to do spots tonight?
Not tonight. Tonight. Tonight was I want to stay inside kind of night. I usually host. I have a mic I host in the city on Tuesdays as well. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to stay inside, hang out with my mom.
Talk to my couples therapists. Yeah, a little couples therapy, get it in. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Tomorrow, yes, and the day after, yes, and then Friday I'm flying to Detroit. And then when I come back, I've got some shows in New York. I'm doing the Stress Factory in New Jersey for the first time. I'm super excited for that.
When is that?
That's the 30th. Yeah, the 30th, March 30th.
Okay.
It seems like you have a big one planned for 420 coming up.
So typically, like last year, I threw an ep. It was my first time producing a show totally solo, and it was a show for 420, and it was fantastic. My turnout was amazing. The show was incredible. I tried to go out of the box a little bit with the format and what I was doing. Some of the things worked, some of the things didn't. Like I did like an interactive part with the audience where we had like a joint rolling contest between two teams in the audience, and it was fun because it's like with a weed show. I'm sure you guys know, but sometimes with a weed show, the audience is just so stoned that they think they're watching TV. Does that make sense? And they forget that they're in real life at a show. So
yeah, I can see that.
It helps.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a fine line when you do like to smoke weed and going to comedy shows is not getting too high before you walk into the show, because you can become a little bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, and then I tried to do a character roast battle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but it's when two battlers like they pretend to be like. So my character roast battle was Seth Rogen versus Snoop Dogg. And I tried to find battlers in New York that kind of resembled these people-ish, and I knew were solid battlers. It went terribly. The audience had no idea what was going on. Yeah.
Again, funny to you, but maybe not everybody.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. I got to watch these two people that I know try to act and also roast battle at the same time. And
God.
It was hilarious. But what really saved it, what made it all worth it is I had one of my friends, Dan Wicks, as the judge for that roast battle. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when you watch a roast battle and the roast battle sucks, that's the judge's cue to bring it.
Sure.
And like really like just get the audience's like energy back up. So Dan Wicks brought it. Like I feel like the shitty roast battle was worth it. The awkward ass roast battle was worth it, just for Dan Wicks's like 3 to 5 minutes of just like judging and murdering. Like he was murdering while judging. It was crazy.
Oh, special skills for that stuff.
And you have to have special skills to bring it and everything like that.
Yeah.
So what was there a case in Colorado as a rookie you went that edibles went wrong?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on rookie mistakes?
So I went to the Cannabis Cup the first year that weed was recreationally legalized in Colorado.
Like
and I flew to Denver
2013?
No. Shit, I'm aging myself. I was 13. Yeah.
Oh. No, I said 2013.
Oh yeah, no, it was 2013.
Yeah. We were in Colorado for a Dave Matthews show.
Hopefully they didn't tell it to you when you were 13, but that's a different story.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I had never really dealt with packaged edibles before in my life. I didn't really understand the milligrams concept just yet. Like I knew that I could smoke a gram of weed and I knew what that felt like, but when you get into all the math, it's a lot of fucking math. This is where all the fractions they come into play. Like, so yeah, I got a chocolate bar. Ooh. And I was very hungry as well. And I ate at least 5 times the recommended dose.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where once you're on that plane, there's no coming down. It starts to feel like a bad trip after a certain point. Like you're like, oh, I'm in a bad trip. This is crazy.
And you were in it.
God, I'm seeing the devil like all at the same time. It's a lot.
Yeah. And like you said, and there's no eject button. There is no, you are in it. You are stuck.
Was there any point where you're like, I'm too high, I shouldn't go anymore, but I'm high and I'm hungry, so I want to eat more chocolate, so I just keep going?
No, once all the chocolate, so they hit you in an ascending kind of way too. So I was like, whoa, I'm feeling it. Then it was like, oh shit, I'm really fucking high, still liking this. And then it was like, wait, I'm getting higher. Why am I getting even higher than this? I don't want to get even higher than this. And you get even higher than that. And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, what am I going to do?
And then you come down the hill and you think you're over. And then you got the second high because it hits you twice. So it's fucking nuts. We had my wife and him got some Pop-Tarts made for me for my 50th birthday. And I made the mistake of eating 3/4 of a Pop-Tart one day, and
the same thing.
I was passed out on my bathroom floor for 3 hours, and yeah, we were high. My wife and I were high all weekend. It was insane.
That's the thing I don't understand about these weed doses is like, who eats 3 bites of a Pop-Tart?
Thank you. Thank you. I know. I'm like, why can't they make these chocolate bars with just enough weed to get me high once? Because they're so good. You want to eat the whole fucking thing, but if you eat more than one little chunk, it's like you're shitting your pants and laying on the bathroom floor.
They make them in sections, so you could do that.
Like maybe edibles aren't supposed to be tasty foods. Like maybe that's the thing.
Right,
like maybe that's the fucking thing.
Have you ever had like a gummy mushroom? Those don't taste good. You know why? Because they don't want you to eat the whole fucking bag.
I do like my psychedelics.
Yeah,
well.
But they don't taste good. They still taste like fucking mushrooms. Like you still can, unless you have good tasting mushrooms. And if you do, let me know. But
I usually just go for like a microdose capsule.
Okay, yeah.
It's actually, I like it super. It's like dosed out. I know the math on those. So.
Oh, now you know math.
Yeah, now I know math is really good. Yeah.
So how did your chocolate bar end? How did that evening end?
I descended into the largest plate of tacos.
Yes.
And just didn't stop eating until I was in a physical coma. And then I went to sleep. Yeah. And I think I forgot what I was watching, but it felt disturbing. I think it was like a really simple kind of movie. I think it was just something playing in the hotel. I think it was The Parent Trap. But I was like, what the it seemed like the tone was different. I was like, these evil little bitches. Like, you know
You're,
what I mean?
yeah, you're trapped. Yeah, you're trapped in this.
You want to have a lot of fun?
Why won't these evil little bitches just let their parents be divorced? Like,
If you got a free night coming up and you want to have a lot of fun, get yourself real high and watch the movie Poor Things, the one with Emma Stone that just came out.
oh, the one that just won all the shit. Yeah.
Yes. Oh shit. That's a fucking trip.
Wow, I can imagine. I mean, I watched it. I didn't watch it high. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I think they won set this. One of the things they won was for their set design.
Yeah,
It's a cool movie.
it is a cool movie, and she did a great job.
Yeah.
And there's
really,
a lot of sex.
and there's a lot of sex, but there's also it's so visual that watching
visual.
it high is incredible. It's just
Wow.
So
Never even thought of that.
yeah. My advice. I'm sure you'll have a free night somewhere where you can watch a movie.
So what psychedelics do you like to dabble in? And any bad experiences with those?
Not in a really long time. I mostly like a microdose mushrooms kind of person. Maybe like once or twice a year. If I'm feeling up to it, I'll do like a tab of acid. You know, if it's got to be all the things must be correct though. Like
Yeah.
right place, right time, all of it needs to be right mental state. You know, everything needs to be lined up.
And that's really the only way to do it. We want to say to our audience is we've had people on. Everything needs to line up to do it. If it doesn't line up, don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it could be rough.
I'm sure people are taking drug advice from you and I.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, I would definitely take drug advice from me. Like if I had me growing up,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done the things I did, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were the high dollar dealer. I'm taking my advice from you too.
No, I definitely had like when I first few times I started doing mushrooms was actually also in high school.
Oh,
And then I didn't do them for a very, very long time. Like didn't do them after high school, maybe back up until like, yeah, just like a few years ago, like right before, like around my late 20s.
Sure.
okay. What is there anything out there that you haven't tried yet that's kind of on the docket you want to try, but everything's got to line up?
Not really. Like I'm 30 fucking years old. Like I'm not really trying to try any new drugs at this point.
Okay.
I think the things, maybe if at some point the ayahuasca thing starts looking more appealing, maybe I would go in that direction. We'll see. But up until now, I'm just like, I'm pretty happy with it. And also, yeah, I've only done the fun ones.
Do you write most of your stuff stoned or do you write sober?
A combination of both.
Okay.
Really a
Yeah.
combination. I like to write roast jokes when I'm high, because I feel like you need to be in a little bit of a sillier mindset for those.
Sure.
And I guess you could be in a sillier mindset for your regular material too, but I don't know, stuff just comes through your mind all the time, and I'm just constantly writing things down.
Yeah.
It flows a little better.
Are you old school? Do you write down shit in a tablet or do you have a phone app or something?
I'm a phone person.
Yeah. Yeah.
My New Year's resolution was to become a dignified notebook comic, but it never happened.
Well, it's only March. You got plenty of time. We're only 2.5 months
The
in.
notebooks, though.
Oh,
That's old school, but that works.
that's fun. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You're hilarious, and I'm gonna say what we said while you were in the interim. You're beautiful. You're stunning. I want to say even more so than I had. Yes, you're stunning. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. We love talking with comedians and talking comedy. It's so much fun.
Thank you guys for having me. I went on YouTube before I came on just to kind of get a sense of the podcast, and I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of hot bitches. So I guess compliment. Thank you.
We look.
What you
The
fit in
last
100%.
3 episodes were dudes. All right, we do dudes once in a while. But I mean, given your choice, if you're us, would you rather talk to hot girls or dudes?
I mean, in general, I would probably rather talk to hot girls than dudes.
Yeah.
On a
So
regular basis, yeah.
yeah, we picked ourselves a nice little podcast. It's worked out for us.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So.
and I mean, the best part, we get to laugh, I mean, and we appreciate just making us laugh.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'll be in Detroit. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know.
Oh, well, we're over in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't know Detroit at all. I do know that theater is
right. You've heard it,
but we're a state over. So if you're ever, we have a comedy club right here in town, Appleton, Wisconsin. It's a Skyline. So if you're ever in town, we will be there. So
100%. Yeah.
We're actually, we're going to see Steph Tolev this weekend at our club, at the local club. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We get, it gets fairly decent name,
every so often.
Yeah. We get
small
a lot
club,
of
but it still goes.
comedians. So yeah. So
So
promote away. Tell them where to find you and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Priya Blunts. If you are in the Detroit area, come see me in the Pontiac Theater. And if you are going to be in New Jersey next week, come see me at Stress Factory.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much.
Cannot thank you enough. I've had a pleasure talking.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
You too. Good night.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously though, get your asses out of here.